let's double check on our sound check. I said YouTube.
I just watched a podcast the other day. It was like 30 minutes. The guy's talking and no sound.
We've had it happen to us, man.
I know that. We don't want it to happen with Richard. That's for sure.
That's for darn sure. Let me make sure Facebook is live. Give us a minute to. Here we go.
It's gonna be a good one, guys.
It's gonna be hot to trot.
I've been waiting for this.
Come on, Facebook. Stop playing games. There we go.
Okay, do we have sound?
We got that one there. Gonna go and check YouTube to make sure we are live on YouTube. Very exciting show we're gonna have today.
Get ready, guys. The finger's coming.
Try. Yep. All right. We are on YouTube. Good. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Intro to Crypto, live with you every Monday and Friday. It is Friday. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome to an interesting and exciting Friday crypto episode. We got a very special guest in the show today. We got Michael Cristoforo, as always, David Lamel here, and we're excited to share with you this very special episode with Mr. Richard Truman, the Economics Crimes Unit in Marion County, Florida. Thank you so much for joining us there, Richard. Just making sure I got us live on Instagram here too. Just bounced the machine. We're doing this a little different. We got Instagram live on the back side over here instead of in front of us. So I can probably not be able to see questions as much over here. We are live there and we are live here. And hopefully everybody can see and ask questions for us. So with what's been going on over the last couple of years in crypto, a lot of things have happened, and we have to make sure we pay attention to that camera there. Otherwise, our eyes are all over the place. What's been happening in crypto, as things have been developing in this country, as you all know, crypto is becoming a much more prominent piece of conversation. While only about 10% of the entire world is involved in crypto at this time, still a very small amount. It's very important to understand as you get involved in crypto, the do's and don'ts and how to protect yourself. So remember, everything we talk about today, this is not financial advice. This is a realtor and a mortgage broker talking to you and helping you to listen, learn, and be a part of the most amazing opportunity in your life and future that'll ever be again. So we want to thank you so much, Richard, for being on the show with us today. Mr. Richard Truman from the Economics Crime Unit from Marion County, Florida. So thank you for being here, buddy. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, great to be here. Excited to share some of my knowledge as well as kind of, raise awareness for your viewers.
Absolutely. I just thought to myself I should have made that camera a little lower. That's a good idea now.
Yeah, it's okay. Just keep going at this point. I tried it lower to begin with.
Oh, well, no, you don't think so?
Well,
Richard, we're going through always as I say, preliminary things. I think if we dropped that a little lower, it'd be better. No?
If you want me to lower it while you're going ahead and talking with Richard, but you're taking away from Richard's time right now.
That's all right, Richard. So let's first of all, anybody has any questions for us or for you, please ask away. Don't feel uncomfortable. If we don't know the answers or Richard doesn't know the answers, we'll get back to you. And with that being said, it's about learning about what's been happening in the world with crypto. So before we dive into this, how did you first become interested in cryptocurrency?
Yeah, so late 2023 to early 2024, our agency was experiencing a rash of cryptocurrency-related crimes. We also had a bunch of these Bitcoin ATMs popping up all over our county. Back then, we had already 30, but I think now we're well in over 50 or so Bitcoin ATMs. With that, frauds just started getting rampant with cryptocurrency. And there was a class out in Tampa that was available, and they asked, hey, who wants to go? So I volunteered to go, came back to my supervisors, told them what I learned. And they were like, okay, well, you're a crypto guy, figure it out. So that's what I did.
I have a question, if you don't mind me asking. Right off the rip, when you start talking about the ATMs, what kind of crime were you seeing regarding these ATMs?
That's a good question.
Yeah. So what was happening was our victims, typically elderly victims, were getting calls from unsolicited people, and either they were pretending to be tech service like Google representatives or Amazon representatives, or they were calling and actually pretending to be law enforcement and saying, you have a warrant out for your arrest. You got to pay for your warrant via crypto. So a lot of elderly victims were getting scammed that way and getting directed to these Bitcoin ATMs to carry out the transactions and send it to a suspect wallet.
Wow. Okay. I mean, we see them here in Connecticut, these Bitcoin machines, and I always said to myself, that is very interesting and exciting, the fact that we see these crypto machines in local places. One of the local liquor stores that we go to back home has one of those in there. But I was always a little concerned about putting my information into it because I don't know who owns it. You know, you see typically a bank machine, it's at a bank, where you see even a credit card machine, it's like in some kind of a environment that is more like a casino or something like even a convenience store, which I'm less likely to use those ones over there. I'm always a little nervous about who's in the side of the machine, who's controlling the machine. So it's interesting you bring up the fact that it was, you know, something where elderly people were getting involved. I could see a lot of young people too, you know, in that aspect of young people.
This makes me want to try one of these machines, because if I can make my 85-year-old mother to move the crypto, I'd be really impressed.
Right.
To be honest with you, so those machines must be pretty easy. You know,
I mean, we've kind of walked through it just to see how they work, and they're pretty straightforward. It's as simple as scanning a QR code. As far as like the wallet address is embedded on the QR code, they scan it, they put the cash in, and it goes to the wallet address that was embedded in the QR code. But a lot of our crypto ATMs are actually housed in either gas stations or smoke shops, which is kind of a weird trend.
Yes.
You know, to me, and obviously, you know, we're dealing with a lot of regulation stuff here in law enforcement. Like, how do you regulate something that's so new? I think maybe in some sort of financial institution like a bank would probably be a little bit more safer for the elderly.
Yeah, I would agree with you 100%. But the fact you mentioned smoke shops, I think that's interesting too, because a lot of younger people, and I say younger people, the ages, let's just say 21 to 40 in the smoke shops. Mm-hmm. Although, you know, if someone's buying a vape, you can be 50 and 60 years old buying a vape at a smoke shop. It's not an age-regulated thing, but it's a very common thing. These smoke shops are popping up everywhere because of the vapes. Yeah. And, you know, when vapes first came out, not the sidebar, I thought it was great because you don't smell like cigarette smoke, right? But these vape shops are turning into other types of venues, such as a crypto place for a crypto machine to show up, and then people thinking, oh, I can buy crypto these you know, bank machines, and who knows what happens there. So it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. What's the number one thing beginners get wrong about crypto, would you say?
I think the number one thing is that it's anonymous. It's actually pseudo anonymous. Like, once you do your transactions, it's we can, you know, it's on the blockchain forever, and you know that is it's imprinted on the blockchain. You can't take it back. So when you carry out those transactions, something that you have to really realize, you're vetting the person and or the, you know, whatever you're sending it to. It could be where, you know, that money could be lost forever. So if you don't have the right wallet address, you're off by a character. People sometimes think that you can get that money back, and you know that's not necessarily the case unless you're in control of the receiving end of that.
Right. Interesting. I just want to let you know that our Instagram feed is to my right over here. So I'm just taking a peek at it. We have Valerie saying hello. It's actually really building up the Instagram feed over here as we're talking about it. And it's definitely very interesting to see people checking out, listen to what you're saying over here. So again, we have Mr. Richard Truman from the Economics Crime Unit in Marion County, Florida, talking to us and teaching us about what's going on in the crypto world. If you've ever been scammed or approached by a person regarding your crypto, this is what the show's all about, to protect you.
Can I ask another question?
Absolutely.
Richard, out of the 50 states, how many states would you say actually are as proactive as you guys to have somebody in that individual state?
Well, I've heard from experts in the field that said there's only about 100 or so officers in the United States that are with local jurisdictions. The feds are pretty well versed, I would say. Federal agents or federal agencies are pretty well versed in the crypto field right now. As far as local agencies go, there's probably about 100 local agencies in the United States that can actually work these cases effectively.
Wow.
Wow.
Now, do you guys actually talk to the feds in order to, do you actually have that ability? Like if you know, like, hey, somebody just lost $250,000, is that big enough that the feds can get involved?
Each area is actually, they have different thresholds. We do communicate with the feds pretty regularly. We'll collaborate them when needed. It just really depends on the case and whether there is overlap into their cases.
Okay, great question. You know, how did you get into the business in terms of crypto and digital assets yourself?
Yeah, so like I said, I got sent out to that class, and it piqued my interest. Got back here, and they're like, "Yeah, you're the crypto guy now. Figure it out." And
were you buying crypto before you got involved in this? Were you involved in crypto yourself?
No, actually, I didn't. Actually, the reason why I started buying crypto was to actually kind of learn how, you know, these suspects were money laundering. It was kind of just something that I did, you know, as a need to learn my job better, and
Yes, absolutely.
it's definitely something that I've made a few bucks on.
Yeah, that's good. Hopefully you're watching our show and it's helping you out a little bit. Who knows?
Careful, keep that quiet. Your sergeant's probably watching this.
We hope they're watching. We hope they're watching.
Some jobs don't let you actually buy crypto, and the guys in the financials, they're not allowed to even have the crypto. So at least, you know, he's in it, so they're going to let him do it, which is wonderful.
Absolutely. Well, you know, I think it's important for anything you're involved in and you want to learn about, you have to know how it works, right? So in order to how it works, you have to be involved in it. You can listen to somebody listen to people like us. You can listen about crypto. That doesn't mean you know how to do it. And once you begin to get involved and learn the different blockchains, the different platforms, and the different, you know, types of how the money gets moved from your cold wallet, from your landing pages, if you will, those are things that are involved that you probably are beginning to learn more about as well. And let me ask you a question. Speaking of that, are any of the platforms that you've come across have been more volatile with crypto being scammed at all? Anything that you've encountered? I just thought of that question at the top. Is that?
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't really talk about which exchanges just because there are active investigations going on.
Okay, that's good to know.
But going back to that, as far as like learning, you know, the crypto world, one of the things I actually did, and one of the things that sometimes suspects will do, is they'll actually mint NFTs and then sell it to themselves for whatever they, you know, stole the victims from. So I actually went ahead and, you know, tried to figure out how to do NFTs, made an NFT just so I could figure that. So, you know, whatever I could do just to kind of understand like the mind of the suspect, it definitely helps.
Very interesting.
You were talking about the exchanges. Has there been any issue with certain wallets as well? I'm just curious.
That's another good question. I see we got Blade over here on YouTube asking us over here. It's a question: what's the difference between a hot wallet and a cold wallet? And that's between the platform being the hot wallet, right?
Yeah.
That you buy the coin on, and then the cold wallet being like a decent wallet, which is very important to know about, which is where you protect your stuff from. Have you noticed, Richard? You want to go back to Blade's question here? Has it been more of people stealing from the platforms or the wallets?
Yeah, we see it more so with platforms, or you know, with our investment scams, for example. They'll have the victim create a like Coinbase account, and then they'll send it to the suspect's controlled wallet that's not connected to an exchange. And then what we'll do is we'll trace the funds from there to an exchange.
It's funny you mention this. I'm going to say it because it happened to me. I'll use a little bit of information what happened to me. I was scammed. And it was somebody that had basically, you know, they talked about Ethereum, giving Ethereum, and I said, yeah, I will. And then they took how they said to me, if you move it to this other platform that they'll show me how they brought me to their platform, showed me how they made money in minutes by like they call it longing and shorting it. They had some kind of special formula they were using. And it would show me how they made, you know, they'd put $1,000 and then make $500 in a couple of seconds or something like that. Is that something along the lines of what you've seen people get
Yeah, that's pretty typical. The
Crazy, right?
large false returns, and usually we're seeing a lot of this with Chinese investment scams.
That's exactly where I was going. That's exactly what happened to me.
A lot of the accounts that we're locating have some sort of connection to China.
Yep. Mine was a Chinese person also. They actually reached out to me and because they were looking to buy a house. That's what they started the whole thing off with. That they were looking to buy a house here in Connecticut, and then I was kind of going out looking for property for them. They're going to come here with their family, and then somehow they knew to get me involved in the crypto questions. I don't know how they knew, but they and I was excited to talk about it because crypto is exciting to talk about. And then I kind of volunteered about some things that I was doing, and you don't know. You start and they develop these relationships with people on the phone that you don't know who they are.
Yep.
It's amazing. Myself, who I consider myself a somewhat smart guy, who got scammed also by these people here. So it does happen to everybody.
And that's one of the things people get wrong. Like, everyone thinks they're too, smart to be scammed, but that's not the case. Listen, we've had people at the sheriff's office scam. We've had people that are multi-million-dollar, finance guys at a bank. Like it doesn't matter how smart you are. It all it takes is a moment of weakness or just not fully understanding something, and it could happen to you. So I think that's a common misconception, and people shouldn't be ashamed of it because these guys are good at what they do. You got to understand that, like, this is their job, right? Yes. They are trained to scam people.
I have a question. Why is it that some of these things don't get shut down? Like, for example, I had a small issue with cryptonomy. That's a national thing, but yet it seems like they never get shut down. And I would tell everybody, run away from cryptonomy because they promise you after a year you're going to get these returns. You don't get anything back at the end. If you do, you're getting a little bone, but that's it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these websites do the feds will end up shutting them down. They'll pop up again, different name. They come up. They're always like replacing them. As soon as they get shut down, they just end up replacing them. It's really hard to keep up with. Recently, actually, the feds made a huge pop. I think that they recovered about 15 billion.
Wow.
A lot of the scammers, which a lot of people don't know, are actually human trafficking victims that are held against their will to actually scam people. And if you can look it up. They had a big bus, ended up freeing a lot of people out there in the Myanmar area, Myanmar and Thailand. There's a huge compound known as KK Park, and that one in particular is one of the largest. They call it a scam factory in the world. So
that's right. Now we got a Blade back on YouTube over here. Thank you so much for being involved, Blade over here. He had a couple questions over here. He goes, I use Tangem. Are there better wallets that are more secure? Was his first question. And then he says he's asking because some older people that want to get into crypto are not tech savvy. Interesting. So
I can't comment on that. I can't recommend any products or anything like that. But
part of the investigations you're working on?
No. I just can't comment on any particular products or recommend any one over another.
Okay. Especially if they come out of Amazon or something like, out of Amazon rather than buying directly from the manufacturer, which we never recommend you do.
Yeah, we tell people, actually, we've been talking about this for a while, and Michael being very smart in how to protect people as well, in the sense of, simplicity things, especially when it comes to buying a cold wallet. I never knew this. He said, you never want to buy a cold wallet from Amazon, because at Amazon, they could easily open up the wallet, take the seed phrase, close it back up. You'd never know. And then while you're using your cold wallet, dumping all your coins in your crypto, one day it's all gone.
Yeah, I will. I can't comment on that. Actually, you want to control the custody of everything from point A to point B, and having that direct line is going to prevent any more hands getting involved in that chain of custody. Works like evidence.
No, absolutely. How many people are expecting to get involved in the crypto enforcement in the coming years? Do you have an idea of what you see in the future?
Yeah. So, in our department in particular, I'm gonna, my goal is to try to expand the unit. We're getting hammered with these cryptocurrency cases. I will say our agency is like cut above of most agencies around the United States. We're definitely more successful than most, which is an awesome thing to say. But we're still trying to keep up with the demand. So right now, it's definitely a growing field, rapidly growing field. This is definitely the time to get into it.
Yeah.
Learn while you can. There's going to be, the private sector is expanding like crazy with trying to get investigator roles, as well as law enforcement. Law enforcement is seeing not only the value of getting involved with cases as far as like recovery goes and making victims whole, but also seeing how taking money from suspects, could potentially dismantle a criminal network in one fell swoop. One of the big cases that I have, and it's a video that's out there, that's on YouTube, TRM, the fake lease. We were able to actually do that. Florida has one of the best seizure laws.
Is that that video where we were in the chat with the new local news channel?
Yeah, well, there's two video. There's one video of me speaking to a local news channel, and there's another one just on YouTube, film like a documentary style.
Okay, that's cool. I was gonna try and play it, but I think I'll lose the thing here if I do that. So maybe we can direct people to where they can watch that video on YouTube. What it's called? Is there a name for it?
Post the link. You could just look up on YouTube TRM, the fake lease. My head will pop up there.
TRM, the fake lease. Maybe we'll try and get that, and I'll try and attach it later on to the stuff over here. You know what I just realized is I didn't put any verbiage on here on the YouTube. Let me see if I can go in here for a second. I didn't put any titles over here. I just realized that.
While you're doing that, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Rich,
Yeah.
how much time, obviously the earlier that somebody reports, the better chances that you're going to get some kind of a recovery, I assume?
That's correct. Yes. Yep.
And how long does it usually take between the time somebody puts in a complaint and when you actually can get a recovery? Typically, I know that's going to change on every deal and so forth. So I'm just curious.
Yeah, that's hard to put a number on it because every case is different. The suspects use different methods for laundering the funds. They'll use mixers. They'll use bridges just to try to obfuscate the funds from us to make it harder for us to locate. I'll do a trace, and sometimes it'll take a day. Sometimes it'll take 3 days. So I can't really put a good number.
That's still fast. You're not talking 2 months. You're talking still days.
I'd probably say about a month.
Okay, average is a month. Okay.
Yeah. We see suspects. They'll sometimes keep the money in the wallet addresses for months too, thinking that we're going to just forget about it.
So they don't even move it out sometimes. Okay, yeah. That's interesting. So that makes it real easy. Do you have to get if it's like say from Singapore, you have to get the Singapore police involved in order to be able to get this recovery, or is there an international whole agreement with all these countries right now?
No, we're here in the state of Florida. We're pretty aggressive when it comes to cryptocurrency. If our victims here in Florida, that we have jurisdiction as far as we're concerned. If you're a victim here in Florida, we're going to try whatever we can to get your money back.
It's amazing. Awesome. It's amazing. I mean, what you're doing in Florida needs to be spread out to the rest of the country and the world in that, and for that matter of fact, because it's not just happening here in the United States. I'm sure it's happening everywhere. In that aspect, it's something we done.
Told you it was coming. I can look at this 30-minute rotation on these lights. They're trying to save energy for our county.
So I mean, it's amazing though, because this is not just something that's local into just Marion County in Florida. This is Florida as a whole, and this is throughout the United States, and this is going to be throughout the world, because the more crypto becomes popular and more well known throughout the country and the world, and it's going to happen. It's just happening. It's minutes to minutes, days by days. it's going to be something where the law enforcement is going to get much more involved, deeper, and larger groups of people. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they have criminals even helping you out at some point, because they say, and maybe I'm wrong in saying this, but the best way to learn is from criminals, right? I mean, is that something you see happening in the future?
Yeah, I mean, we have people that end up working as far as
Intelligence information.
Yeah, intelligence and stuff, and that are willing to flip just so we can, ultimately, whatever we can do to make a victim whole, like that's our goal.
Right.
Law enforcement, we're open to exploring different avenues to try to get our victims made whole.
Absolutely. Are more strangers or acquaintances during? I'm sorry. Are more strangers or acquaintances?
You want to know? We want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's the perpetrator? Is it more acquaintances or is it more strangers? Foreigners on this stuff.
Yeah, and obviously I can speak mainly to my county, but we see it more with strangers calling, overseas. Most of my cases, most of my seizures have been overseas seizures. I've seized money from Nigeria, China, and India so far. We're seeing a lot of overseas scammers, people that they've never met before, or I mean, if you want to really get into it, romance scams. They'll sometimes even talk to these people for months before they even get them to give anything.
Yeah.
Romance scams.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, now these people, you're getting the money back. What percentage of the people are actually getting arrested and put in jail for doing it? Is the other question, or do they just tap them on the hand and send them back on their way?
No, so most of my cases have been overseas. We have a large elderly population, so I don't typically get to, put handcuffs on people. What we do is we get the money back and recover that for our victim. I will get if I can develop probable cause, I'll get a warrant for the suspect, whoever was operating the account. Now, what that does is once again, is why I think Florida is one of the greatest states in the United States. Is we have what's called the Fugitive Disentitlement Act. Okay, the Fugitive Disentitlement Act allows us to get the funds back to our victims quicker, because once I get a warrant out for, even if they're overseas, once I get a warrant out for someone overseas, they can't fight the seizure until they turn themselves in on the warrant.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Let's see. What's the 5 best ways our clients can protect themselves?
Yeah, so
or some ways you can recommend that the people can protect themselves.
Yeah, so internet hygiene is one of the biggest things. Listen, once you get involved with crypto, you become a target. There's people out in the bigger cities here in Florida actually that they'll get involved with a woman. The woman will end up drugging them, and they'll go into their wallet, use their face scan, and get into their wallet and take their wallet, and then run, gone. Yep.
Wow.
And if you get that gut feeling, if it's too good to be true, it probably is.
Transactions. I didn't know we had to worry about that for our wives too. That's good to know. Thank you, Richard. Keep going. keep going. Sorry about that.
You're good. Remember, always transactions are immutable. Once that money's sent, you can't necessarily send it back to a wallet address unless you got you're in cahoots. It's if you end up messing one key on that wallet address, it's gone forever. When getting into crypto, do your research. This is, obviously a great reason to watch your podcast.
Thank you
so that much. Way, you just don't want to go into crypto blind and just start buying everything. You'll end up messed up.
We have a comment over here from Luke's Lost on YouTube. So here, the amount of money being scammed from victims can fund terrorist activities. Crypto scams definitely need to be looked at more. Glad Florida is leaning into this. Thank you so much, Luke's. And also let us know where you're from, my friend. We always like to let people in the world know where you're from, whether you're in the States or outside the States. it's a good point. Money being scammed, we never know where it's being scammed from or what's being used for. And it can be very scary, I'm sure, out there for you. And you probably have seen and know things that you can't talk about and what's going on. How many different cases, let's say, are you working at a time? Is that a fair question to ask?
Yeah. So I'm probably working actively, probably about 30 or 40 cases at a time. So
Wow.
you can only imagine what that does to my mental health.
Wow. That's crazy.
No, I'm doing. I love my job. Listen, I love my job, and one of the best things. Listen, I was a cop. I love chasing people. I love to get into stuff, but this job in particular, giving people back their money is just so much more rewarding for some reason, and maybe that's just me. But it's definitely a special spot to be in for sure.
Agreed. We have, and this is, I laughed because I saw someone here on YouTube. His name is Biden the Hair Sniffer 2022-25. That is awesome, by the way. He says he or she says North Korea are the biggest scammers, is what he says over here. Is there truth to North Korea? Is that do you see? I mean, I'm not sure if you can comment, but I'm sure it's coming from all over the world as well.
Yeah, we're getting cases all over the world, and I can't single out one country over another, but
right, because I'm sure, again, we don't want the people in those areas to know you're watching them and what's going on with those people to find them.
Richard, you're getting 30 to 40 cases right now that you're working on. It's got to be 5% of the population is scammed that's actually reporting it. Do you agree with that, or do you less? What do you think?
Yeah, so there's definitely a gap there as far as who's actually coming forward as a victim, because and I'm sure you guys know there's a lot of embarrassment that comes with getting scammed. You feel like you've been had and you don't want to tell anyone. So there's a lot of people out there they're just like they'll take the loss on the chin and never.
Yeah, no, I was. I told Mike about it because I felt confident in talking with Mike when it was going on, and when it was going on, I kind of talked about this thing, this opportunity, and he said to me, something doesn't sound right. Just be very careful, and it was pretty. I don't know how to say it. It was so real. I mean, literally, he would take me from one place to another crypto account, show me how he would take money and make the money in seconds, hundreds of thousands of dollars. He's like, listen, it's that easy. All I have to do is give me a little money to do it. I'll do it for you. And he started building my account up, and he had maybe, I'm not going to say how much I gave him. I didn't give him a lot. Well, it was a lot to me, whatever a lot is to each person. And he was showing me how he's making $1,000 here, $500 there, $300 there in seconds. And I was like, oh my God, this is unbelievable. It really is very real and very scary when it happens to you. And you don't realize it happened to you until you go and try to get your money and it's all gone. Poof, and the person's no longer available to talk with them. So whoever is out there, know that you need to be very smart, secure, conscious about it can happen to anybody. Keep your information very tight. Never tell anybody what you have outside of maybe your spouse, your partner. Even your friends, you can talk amongst your friends about what you're doing, different things and that kind of stuff, but no one should really know your stuff because it can be, who knows? It's God forbid. I mean, I have mind that I'm very close with that we share information, but you have to know how well, it's your very close friends are one thing, but somebody's outside the box, definitely don't talk.
Yeah, we in traditional banking, we're relying on our bank, right, to provide us this service to protect us. But with crypto, you are the bank, so you have to come up with your own rules and regulations.
True.
To protect yourself.
Very good point.
Do you expect the regulations to change much in the next year or two? That this is maybe going to make your job a little bit easier?
Yeah, I mean, we're already seeing it with the Genius Act and the Clarity Act. As far as the stablecoin initiative that Trump signed in, you're going to see, like I said, you're going to see law enforcement getting more into the field. You're going to see more regulators coming in, and listen. People love crypto because of the financial freedom, right? But there has to be a balance, in my humble opinion, because there are people that will get victimized and are being victimized actively. That there has to be a balance between this whole financial freedom and this whole scam world that we're dealing with.
Right.
Seeing that Dave and I really like crypto as much as we do, we would love to get a job working for a police department. Are they still going to make us do like 50 or 20 push-ups and 50 sit-ups in a matter of a minute?
Yeah, unfortunately. Yep. You have to get.
We're out.
Right.
I'm out.
And you have to do your time on patrol.
I'm out.
Listen, Richard, you've been awesome, and we want to bring you back on the show again. I'm sure we'll have more questions that come up and more situations that may be coming that you can talk about as well with us, with other people. This is the intro to crypto.
If we have somebody if we have somebody in Connecticut that's out of the jurisdiction, let's just pretend one of our friends got scammed for $100,000. Would that be something that we can actually reach out to Richard before we get off? I'm just asking, Richard. Like, I know it's out of your jurisdiction, but what would happen in that situation? I'm just asking for a friend.
Yeah, well, I mean, I could put you in contact with the right people in whatever jurisdiction it is to help you out. I have access to a pretty good coalition that we've developed. And there's good people out there that do the same thing that I'm doing. Even though there's not much of us and we need more, we're out there.
So look to join the force and look at maybe some kind of a cybersecurity / crypto division in the local police department or the state near you. Would that be a fair statement?
Yeah. Yep.
That would be, I think, a great thing, especially, what I'm going to say, speaking of that, a lot of college kids who come out of college looking for jobs. Something they should consider, who are especially in cybersecurity, to look at to go into the police department and talk about cybersecurity for crypto and policing and how to protect us civilians. That might be something that should be the new, like, kind of like platform for the police department, state by state. Cybersecurity where you are, helping to protect you in crypto, et cetera, et cetera. And I see this going to be more and more developing in this country and throughout the world as well as things develop. We always talk about being protective, being smart, listen and learn. It's important for you as a person who's getting involved in crypto to learn as much as you can. We are a big XRP community. More new shirts we got us for ourselves over here, right? We believe in XRP. We are convicted, right? Convicted about XRP. We see the future of XRP and the blockchain and what it's going to do, and we're very excited about it. It's the future of this country. With that being said, you need to be safe. You need to be smart. You need to be aware of your surroundings and what you do and how you do things, because things can go sideways very quickly.
Yep.
Richard, you're awesome. I want a big shout out to your dad, Mr. Richard Truman Sr. So is it a senior, your dad, or is he like junior?
He's actually junior. I'm the third. Yep.
Okay. So big shout out to Richard Truman Jr., a very good friend of mine and our families. Thank you so much for reaching out to me about your son, Richard, over here, the third, to get us involved and have him on the show. Rich, you were awesome in everything you did and you shared with us. And again, looking forward to having you on the show again and, share with us new and more important information as things develop with new ways to protect ourselves or things that have happened to other people in the past.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys inviting me. It was definitely an honor, and looking forward to the future.
Awesome, my friend.
Thank you so much.
I want to thank you so much. We'll be in touch. This is Michael Cristoforo, David Lamount, and Mr. Richard Truman. As you're looking at right there, the Intro to Crypto, the Economics Crime Unit, out of it's Marion County, Florida, right?
Yep, Marion County Sheriff's Office.
Shout out to Marion County, Florida Sheriff's Department, Police Department, and everything you guys are doing out there to protect our people, our country, and crypto in general. We love and appreciate your service, and I want to wish you an amazing day and amazing weekend. Be safe out there.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks,
all right,
Rich.
but we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Yep.
All right, bye. I'm going to just give me 1 second. I'm learning how to exit this thing here. I don't know if you close the screen or if there he goes. Mike, that was a great show.
Yeah, she'll shut off.
Yeah, but I just want to just tell everybody out there what a great show this was. Richard was amazing. Learned a lot. And hopefully you guys out there are enjoying what you're learning over here. This is Intro to Crypto. We look forward to seeing you guys again on Monday with what's going on in the market. Hopefully, we'll see some exciting things changing. The market is going to be very exciting next couple of days. We have October. What did I say? October.
Yeah. So far, it hasn't been that way.
It
But
hasn't been up there. It hasn't been an October. It's been a downtober.
yeah, so
But
far,
hopefully
good buying opportunity.
Yeah, great buying opportunity. Absolutely. All right, guys. Have a wonderful night and a wonderful weekend. We'll talk to you soon. And thank you.